There is a mysterious monster that lives in the desert. Although it has a human-like form, it lacks facial features. Its favorite food is the golden ants that inhabit the desert. Only after consuming enough of these ants can it transform and develop human faces. However, very few people have seen this monster because it spends most of its time in hibernation, with sleep cycles lasting decades or even centuries. So, when the monster awakens from its slumber, it needs to eat large amounts of golden ants. But when it finishes off the nearby golden ants, it disguises itself as a human and targets villagers as food. One day, when a group of monsters attacked a village, Nevaeh was so scared that she hid inside a water vat. Eventually, the monsters found her. But when one monster opened the vat, a scorpion suddenly appeared on top of it. The monster seemed terrified of the scorpion and hurriedly fled from Nevaeh's home. After learning about the monster's weakness, Nevaeh decided to raise the scorpion and use it in the future to find the monsters and get revenge for her parents. Meanwhile, the monster that escaped hadn't eaten enough, and its hunger prevented it from hibernating. So, it wandered the desert in search of food. Soon after, it encountered an itinerant vendor named Connor. Although it was strange to find a vendor in the remote desert, the monster didn't care. It just wanted to eat and return to sleep. Then, it tried to sneak up on Connor from behind while he was packing. But to the monster's surprise, Connor wasn't a real vendor, he was a desert bandit in disguise, who specialized in robbing lone travelers. Thinking the monster was a lone human, Connor ended its life with 2 daggers on the spot. Then, Connor searched the monster's body and was surprised to find 2 gold bars. But just as he was happily leaving with the gold, the monster on the ground suddenly grabbed his leg. Then, the monster disguised itself as the itinerant vendor and headed to the next village to find humans as food. However, that village had already been targeted by other monsters, and the few remaining humans hid when they saw a stranger. Finding no food, the monster left the village and continued wandering the desert. But shortly after the monster left, a group of people arrived at the village. These individuals weren't natives of this world, they were humans from Earth who had accidentally entered through a portal. They simply wanted to find some locals to ask about this world. Suddenly, Lucas noticed the water vat shaking. As he led the others moving slowly toward the vat to investigate, an elderly man on the rooftop threw a basket of corn cobs at them, trying to buy time for his grandson hiding inside the vat to escape. Meanwhile, a girl hiding elsewhere also started to run. But how could this elderly man and 2 young people outrun Lucas and his group? They were quickly captured and brought back. Before Lucas could ask about the situation here, Emma urgently warned them to extinguish their torches because the light would attract monsters called sand dwellers. Sand dwellers are creatures formed from sand, lacking human consciousness, and they attack any living being they see. After realizing Lucas's group meant no harm, Emma led them into a cellar. Nights in this parallel world are extremely dangerous. Only cellars and other hidden places offer safety through the night. Then, Emma explained the rules of this parallel world. To their astonishment, they learned this world is filled with numerous monsters, and also warriors and mages, beings that only exist in fantasy novels and movies. Ordinary natives must pay heavy taxes to support these warriors and mages, who help eliminate monsters threatening villages. However, remote areas are often too poor to afford such protection, forcing residents to defend themselves against monster attacks, leading many villages to be completely wiped out and becoming ghost towns. Lucas found Emma's story too fantastical to believe, but Allison sensed intuitively that Emma wasn't lying. So, they decided to rest in the village overnight and head toward the larger town Emma mentioned the next day. But as they prepared to leave the next morning, a strong wind suddenly began blowing. A group of sand dwellers, concealed within the sandstorm, began slowly closing in on the village.